Hello, this is the Wall 200 with another video, this time on Zeon. Now, as my other two videos, I would like you guys to listen to everything I have to say before commenting and listening to my reason and my logic behind why I'm rebuttaling him. Now, a little context here, he made a video pointing out you shouldn't idolize Vegeta, and all Vegeta fans are toxic, basically. And he made a rebuttal to this video because he got quite a bit of backlash. Probably deservedly so, because he pretty blatantly blanketed every fan of Vegeta within the video, even though it may have been an accidental, but his excuses for this really don't make any sense. We'll get into that right now.
I must just hate having subscribers. I mean, why else would I be tackling this topic again if it isn't just to alienate everybody and just get them to run the fuck away? So, toxic Vegeta fans, let's talk about that again. Yay! Now, the reason I'm revisiting this topic is to address a lot of the comments that were made on it, because I got plenty of comments, some very toxic and shitty and vulgar and horrible, which all those people have been banned, because fuck those people.
I would really like to know what your definition of toxic is, because you don't show any of these quote-unquote toxic comments. Maybe there were some, and maybe they're threatening your life. Maybe they were really horrible, but with no proof and just your word alone, it just sounds like you blocked them because you didn't like what they had to say.
These people. Number one, why are we attacking Vegeta fans in general? Well, we're not. We are very specifically attacking the toxic Vegeta fans. We state that several times. We even have the hashtag not all Vegeta fans, because we're not attacking all Vegeta fans. Very specifically, we are targeting a toxic subsection of Vegeta's fandom. They're probably more of the minority, and they are just very loud and aggressive. But they do exist, and they are out there, and that's why we are discussing this. So yeah, like, if you don't fall into like the category that we're talking about, well, that's fine. We're not aiming this at you. Like I said, we state several times, this is for toxic Vegeta fans, like, hashtag not all Vegeta fans. We say that several times. And then that brings me to number two, which is, well, if it's not all Vegeta fans, then why does the title say and why Vegeta fans suck, and not like why some Vegeta fans suck, or why a subsection of Vegeta fans suck? Why does it just say why Vegeta fans suck? Why is it so generalized? Well, fair. The title is a joke. And I mean, it might sound like I'm trying to backpedal and like, trying to cover up for myself, but no, like I wrote that as a joke, like as an aside, like the actual title is "Stop Idolizing Vegeta Fans," parentheses, or why Vegeta fans suck.
You know why it sounds like you're backpedaling? Because you are fucking backpedaling. Your whole argument of why you didn't just name it, why toxic Vegeta fans suck, is it's just a prank, bro. It was just a joke. Really? You just wanted to do this to blanket the Vegeta fans in, to gauge a reaction. At least fucking admit to it. What the fuck?
And I feel people shouldn't get hung up on the title. If you're gonna keep getting hung up on the title, I can't help you with that other than just changing the title, which I'm not gonna do because I like the title. And also it's in the thumbnail. I'm not gonna change the thumbnail also. I'd have to completely re-upload the video. Not doing that.
I'm pretty sure the reason why you really don't want to change the title of the video despite the thumbnail is because you don't want to fuck up the YouTube algorithms. And if you rename a video, it fucks up with the searchability of that particular video. So pretty much it comes down, I can't really prove that, granted, but I'm pretty sure that's the real reason why you don't want to change the title, because, you know, can't miss out on those views.
Number 3, this really wasn't a debate, and we should have had a Vegeta fan on the video to defend themselves. Well, no, because, I mean, yeah, like, this video wasn't a debate. It was never meant to be a debate. It was a discussion on a topic that we had all, you know, kind of noticed on our own and wanted to bring light on and discuss and, you know, put out there in the open, because, you know, we hadn't really seen discussion on it. As far as bringing on Vegeta fans to defend themselves, well, I mean, we did have Lucia there, unless you're looking for, like, people who are Vegeta fans who idolize Vegeta, blah, 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 but it's like, very specifically, like I said, we're talking about toxic Vegeta fans. You know, these people who shout beta cuck at people and talk about how Vegeta's so alpha and this is so alpha and that's so badass and like, you know, people who idolize those traits in Vegeta's character and are just kind of vulgar, shitty human beings. People that I would never give a platform to. If you are not one of those Vegeta fans, then this video isn't about you. Like, it's about them. It's an assault on them. Like, if you're taking offense to this and you don't like it and you don't take those things away from Vegeta's characters as positives, then you're not the people that we're talking to. Like I said, the people we're talking to are those shitty, vulgar, just terrible fucking people, like these toxic individuals who idolize these elements of Vegeta's character. That's who this is an assault on, not you, good-natured, non-toxic Vegeta fan. Like, you know, so if you're asking, you know, like, you know, that I should have had a toxic person on this video to defend their stance, fuck no, I'm sorry, that isn't happening. I'm not going to give a platform to toxic individuals.
I would really like to know your reasoning. I know they're coming up real soon, and don't worry, we'll get to that real soon. But I don't see how you deserve a platform, but these toxic people do not. You can have a toxic freaking viewpoint and make good rebuttals and points and still have a toxic freaking view of things. So that's a fucking pretty weak excuse for avoiding to have someone on there who defends these traits that Vegeta has. It's just you being a coward, bottom line.
Like, if I were to do a video about why the Westboro Baptist Church is a bunch of pieces of shit, I'm not going to then bring on members of the Westboro Baptist Church to defend their fucking homophobia. I'm just not going to do that. Same thing with, like, the KKK. Like I was like, man, fuck the KKK. You should have a member of the KKK on this video to defend their... No. There's nothing to defend there. I'm not going to give people a platform to defend shitty behavior. Period.
I'm just wondering why you wouldn't give these kind of people a platform to speak on. I mean, yeah, they're pretty shitty people, and you may not like what they have to say, okay? But denying them that kind of a privilege to have their voice heard is downright censorship. And it really sounds like you just don't want to have your analysis challenged whatsoever. So you have this flawed logic to use the most extreme examples of shitty opinions and quote city people to push forward your agenda when it just sounds like you're just being a bitch.
Number 4, toxic Vegeta fans don't actually exist. My comment section says otherwise. Like, because if toxic Vegeta fans don't exist, then I guess this guy and this guy and this guy and all of these guys just don't exist. They're not real.
Good job. You picked obvious fucking troll comments to push your fucking agenda. Congratulations.
If you still just prefer Vegeta for whatever reason, that's fine. Like I said, if you're cherry picking his character to find the good within it and idolizing that and, wanting to look at those traits as positives and things that you want to, aspire to, that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Number 6, nobody is idolizing Vegeta's bad qualities. Yes, and I think like what people mean by that is like nobody looks at like bad qualities and idolizes them. It's just like, well, the thing is though, these people don't view these as bad qualities. You know, these toxic elements of Vegeta's character, which yes, I'm going to keep using the word toxic. You know, these elements of his character, people don't view as bad qualities. They view them as alpha and manly and badass. That's what they're taking away from it. They think that this behavior is, well, masculine, which is where the whole toxic masculinity thing comes from, which people will also rebuff the existence of that too, and I'm not even going to get into that at the moment.
Yeah, because fuck opposing opinions. What are those, right? I'm not going to go into the toxic masculinity, being actual fucking real. Fuck that shit. Fucking opposing opinion, Fuck that shit, right? Of course, I don't see how these traits are really quote unquote toxic. I mean, you could be very prideful and not toxic. You can be very quote unquote violent. Some people are just naturally violent. That's not exactly toxic. And like, look at all these MMA fighters. They do that shit for a living. They have to be violent for a fucking living. I mean, in their personal lives, they're probably not very violent people, but you have to kick someone's ass in a fucking arena, okay? That's not fucking toxic. That's their fucking living. So, by that fucking logic, anything that's violent is fucking toxic. Anything prideful is toxic. Stop using fucking toxic, man. Fuck.
Number 7. Well, what about the toxic Goku fans? Well, first off, you're just deflecting. Pointing out something else that's shitty does not absolve the original thing being accused of being shitty from being shitty. First off. Secondly, what toxic Goku fans are you talking about? The big example I keep seeing of this is like, of toxic Goku fans. It's like, every time, like, what about the people who lost their shit when Goku lost Death Battle, blah, blah, blah. And those aren't, like, I mean, those are fans of Goku. I mean, those are just toxic Dragon Ball fans. Those are just, like, like, this is perfectly acceptable behavior. To react violently to any type of criticism or to think that, like, violence is an answer to social situations. To think that that men are like entitled sex by women, that like like to view women as conquests, things like that. Like, that's toxic behavior. Another big thing is to shame men who don't fit into like this specific masculine ideal that men need to be macho and short-tempered and aggressive, and need to conform to these certain ideologies, and anything that they do that is a deviation of that is something to be shamed. And that's honestly like one of the big reasons why I am so outspoken about this topic, because I am a person who has been personally affected by toxic masculinity growing up. I was not traditionally masculine at all. Like, I was, like, growing up, like, I wanted to grow my hair out long. I wanted my ears pierced. Things that were, some guys were doing at that time frame, like in the 90s, it was kind of becoming prevalent, and I wanted to do that stuff as well. And my mother was kind of against it. It wasn't until, like, I had to have literally my aunts be like, well, it's a trend now, like, let them do it. And my mother being like, oh, that's not really what boys do. As I got older, like getting into Sailor Moon, my mother would mock me for that. When I wanted to paint my nails, my mother would, that's shit for girls. What do you?
I was with you all the way up to the painting of your nails, okay? It's quite the strange behavior. I can understand why she probably had a little concerns about where you were kind of heading, as, typical male doesn't do that, I mean, I grew my hair long. It was almost down to my fucking neck. That's how long it was. And I watched Sailor Moon, even though I don't see why she'd be concerned about a young, male watching, teenage girls on TV. Seems pretty normal to me. except for the whole painting your nails kind of thing. I mean, if you're kind of like this, going through a phase where you're just emo and painting your nails and whatever, I don't give a shit. But that's just a weird kind of personality trait that typical males don't do, okay, especially during when you were young, okay? That's just, today it's probably fucking normal and no one give two fucks. But definitely she's just being a parent and being concerned. That's not being toxic masculinity. He's like, oh, that's not what males do. Be a man. That's not what she's doing. She's just being protective, even though that's probably a shitty way to go about it.
When I see toxic behavior and this reinforcement of it, it does bother me, because I was a person who was kind of raised under that kind of mentality and didn't fit into that box. And, not only was my mother an issue, obviously, people I went to school with would harass me, just people, like in my social life, and it was definitely not good for my development. And of course, I was, also, raised on the idea of like, to objectify women and shit like that, things that I am very much not okay with as an adult. I haven't been okay with that mindset for well over a decade, but in my teenage years, I was taught like, that's how men are supposed to act. And I didn't really like the idea, but I was like, well, this is what guys do. And I realized that as an adult that's not okay. Like, why are we reinforcing that behavior? Why are we teaching men that that's okay? Like, that's kind of where you end up with things like, like rape culture, where guys just
I'm sorry for laughing at you, okay? Because you went to the most extreme, to your anecdotal evidence of your own mother trying to force these quote-unquote male qualities onto you, to rape culture. You're trying to connect this shit, and it really confuses me. You're taking your own personal bias, viewpoints within this character of Vegeta. There's nothing wrong with idolizing his pridefulness of his character or his violent side. There's nothing wrong with that. To idolize those traits, there's nothing wrong with that. It's what you fucking do with that. Now, if you're out there like punching people fucking randomly and saying fucking Vegeta's taught me this or some shit, then yeah, you're going to get fucking arrested, okay? You can't just pull that shit and just not have something happen to you, okay? I just don't see why you just went to rape culture when your own personal experiences have nothing to do with anything toxic, okay? Like, I just can't believe you went there. Like, what the hell?
I kind of think that we're entitled to this type of shit, where, we start victim blaming and telling women, well, if you don't want to get raped, don't dress so sexily. It's all on you. Men are uncontrollable fucking animals with their libidos. Like, that's not a good mindset to have.
Who the fuck is saying that? No one. I mean, nobody. No, not society. Not other men teach other men it's okay to rape somebody. Okay, that is clearly wrong, and you will go to prison for a very fucking long time for that. So I'd like to know who the fuck is teaching men it's okay to rape women when it's clearly fucking not. No one is saying that. Holy shit. Where are you getting this shit?
So yeah, like I said, as a person who's been personally affected by toxic masculinity in my own development, I feel it necessary to call that shit out. If you notice in that video, I'm the one that dropped that term. Not Lucia, not Gabby, that was me. Call me a beta cuck fucking feminist loser all you want. I don't really give a shit. Unsub, I don't really give a shit. But that is toxic. Like that kind of toxic behavior shouldn't be accepted. And the reason I immediately associate Vegeta with that kind of behavior is because Vegeta is like the alpha male who kind of imposes his will on other people by being short-tempered and violent with people. Even in Super, where he's had his development, he still uses his attitude and his aggression to intimidate people and to be incredibly standoffish and to emotionally wall himself off, and that's not like healthy mental behavior. So yeah, that's basically what I wanted to say on that topic. Hopefully you guys are still subscribed. Hopefully I have cool subscribers left after this. Till next time, Zeon, out.
I know I cut a lot of his video out, basically saying toxic this, toxic that, and hitting all the buzzwords, you know, of SJW horseshit I ever fucking heard in a long time. And I honestly don't get where you're coming from, where it's actually is okay to idolize his, you know, quote unquote violent side. Some people are just, you know, short tempered. There's nothing wrong with being short tempered, or I guess idolizing that trait in somebody, or being very prideful, even though, you know, being emotionally cut off. Some people are just like that. They just can't help it. It's a behavior kind of a thing. It's nothing that they can help, okay? It doesn't make it fucking toxic. And if I look at Vegeta and say, well, I really idolize him being cocky and being this kind of using his violent side to gain an edge in a fight, then there's nothing fucking wrong with that, okay? Don't it just feels like you're shaming them. I can't believe I used that fucking term, but it feels like you're shaming these people who idolize his traits. I can't believe I fucking actually used that fucking term, but I guess I have to use your fucking kind of terms to actually get to a fucking point here. It's freaking immensely fucking hypocritical for you to have this rebuttal video saying this stuff isn't fucking healthy when you're actually shaming people who have these kind of behaviors. It's fucking mind-boggling. That's all I have to say. Thank you for listening. Rate, comment, and subscribe.